Duren, it feels like more of a comp to Dwight.
He changed the complexion of that game. The frame on this kid is insane. Troy Weaver wins once again.
Jaden Ivey was on full force. He is one of the fastest players I've ever seen.
You could make an argument he's a top 5 athlete in the league. The beauty of it is he complements Cade perfectly.
Cade showing that he doesn't have to be like Luka and have 35 points every game.
We are joined by a special guest. My guy, Jack Kelly from the Detroit Bad Boys, all the way from Australia. How is my accent, by the way? Was that good or no?
Man, nah,
No?
that was a horrible accent, my guy.
There we go.
But no, thanks so much for having me on, guys. Like, this is awesome. Really, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, we appreciate you, man. We love all the things you're doing. The 313 takeaways from Pistons game, dude. That's such a genius idea. It's very original. It's great to see stuff like that. Pistons Twitter needs it, and we appreciate you for putting on for Detroit and the city all the way from down under.
From down under.
No, 100%, man. That means a lot. Like, I had that idea in the works for a bit, and I wasn't sure how it would go, but yeah, I appreciate the love.
For
sure, man. I got to ask real quick, if I may.
Yeah.
How does one even become a Pistons fan from all the way in Australia? How's that happen? Because we haven't been good for quite a while.
No, so pretty much, man. It's pretty depressing story, really. So back in, like, I've been an NBA fan since like 2005, and then in 2011 I was looking at some mock drafts. Don't know why, and I just saw this guy called Andre Drummond, and I was a bit of a Dwight Howard fan, and he was touted to be the next Dwight, and I was like, wherever he gets drafted, I'm going to follow that team. And then here we are now.
Let's go. That's what I'm saying.
Now you have another big man that you can love on this Pistons team in Jalen Duren. And we saw him in action last night. We saw him, like, I already read his stat, 21 minutes. He had 14, 10, and 3 blocks. What do you expect out of him going forward? And how quickly do you think until he'll be in that starting lineup as an 18-year-old in the NBA?
I think, man, just firstly, like, he changed the complexion of that game.
For sure.
He came into the in the first quarter. I think we were down 21-6, and he's just the presence on the interior, man. He changed the way Orlando were attacking the cup, and just, I mean, how is he still 18? Like that.
That's the crazy part, yeah.
The frame on this kid is insane. But to your question about his role and sort of the starting position, I think obviously there's injuries to Nerlens, Noel, and Marvin Bagley have definitely accelerated his standing in the rotation. And man, I mean, it's going to be hard to keep him out of the starting lineup just with the impact he had. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm a big Stu guy, but you just see the defensive presence, a guy of Duren's size, like just the way he can alter the game.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, some people, I feel like they have that like knack or like almost like a spidey sense out there on defense, like those big men.
That it factor.
Yeah, I mean, Dwight was it. That's funny. I was a big Dwight fan too, like, because initially I was a big LeBron fan, and then obviously Dwight beat him in that, the Eastern Conference Finals, went on to lose in the finals, unfortunately. But like Duren, it feels like more of a comp to Dwight than obviously Andre Drummond was, and dude, he's looking the part now too. It's insane, bro. It's literally insane.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing with Duren, the difference between him and Andre is you can already just see the defensive instincts. Like, Andre was a terrific athlete as well, but I don't know, some of his timing was just off here and there. Duren, he just seems like, for an 18-year-old in particular, his defensive awareness, he's still got stuff to work on, but yeah, Troy Weaver wins once again.
Wins once again. And another one of Troy Weaver's wins. Another one of Troy Weaver's picks. Jaden Ivey was on full force, showing full steam last night. I talked about it earlier on the show, how he is one of the fastest players I've ever seen on an NBA court. Up there, Russell Westbrook, John Wall, guys like that. I've never seen that type of speed in a Pistons uniform, let alone almost anywhere in the NBA. What does he bring to this team, and what can that speed do to change the type of game that the Pistons want to play?
Well, I think, first of all, the thing that this roster has lacked, I mean, in my time being a Pistons fan in the past decade, I don't recall having an athlete like this at the guard position. And you're exactly right. Like, he's already, you could make an argument he's a top 5 athlete in the league. Like, He's got the frame, the speed, the bounce, and the beauty of it is he complements Cade perfectly. They have skills that are similar, but they also, Cade's more of that herky-jerky. He'll manipulate the defense, sort of try and pick it apart, whereas Ivy's just going to bust through and get to the cup at will. And I think just having that 1-2 punch, it just makes the defense that much more accountable. It's a lot harder to scheme against. And yeah, he only took one free throw last night, but we've seen him throughout preseason and summer league just get to the free throw line at will. And anytime you can get easy points, that's going to help your offense as well.
For sure.
100%. We were talking about the new league rule on the fast breaks as well. And that's going to benefit us tremendously because, like Spence related to earlier, like no one's going to get in front of that kid, and you're not going to catch up to him. So your only choice at that point is to grab him and stop him. It's a cheat code. It literally is. I got to ask, man, you obviously started the 3-on-3 thoughts. There's 3 things you liked, 1 thing you disliked, and 3 things to keep an eye out for. Do you have takeaways at this point from last night's game?
I didn't have time to put the thread together. But I was going to just go 3 things I like, 1 thing I don't like, 3 more things I like, because it was just one of those games, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just such. The only thing I didn't like was probably just Duren's free throw shooting, but I'm not going to get on his case for that. That's just something to keep an eye on. But there's so much to take away, and I think aside from the individual performances, I think that was just a glimpse into what we can expect from this team in the future. And it's funny, like, he had such a balanced scoring attack. We had 5 guys score 14 points or more. And interestingly, that sort of coincides with how the going to work team played and the bad boys. So it's interesting. I think that's what we're going to see in the future with such a balanced scoring attack. And that was my major takeaway. Is it's so hard to defend when there's multiple options. Stu's 3, corner 3 to win the game. Like, how do you account for that? Like, he's a 5th option on the floor at that point, and he's the guy hitting the game winner. So,
that's your boy too.
And each 100% my guy. Like, I was so happy for him because he'd missed his first 3 on the night. But each guy, they just sort of had like a 5-minute patch. Cade had a patch in the 3rd. Bogdanovic hit like 4 threes in 5 minutes, it felt like. Duren went nuts in the first half. It's just, that is how you win games at the high levels, having so many options.
For sure. And we have more options that aren't there yet. And that's when I saw that lineup out there of our bench, when it was Kevin Knox, Corey Joseph, Killian Hayes, I think it was Beef Stew, Jalen Duren, and Diallo. I was like, oh gosh. But then I remembered that in a couple weeks, we're going to have Marvin Bagley, we're going to have Livers, we're going to have Alec Burks out there. And guys like that, we saw already what adding 40% 3-point shooter in Bojan Bogdanovic can do for this team. What does it mean when you add another one in Alec Burks and another guy who can knock down threes in Livers? How can that expand this offense?
Oh, first of all, I'm not used to having shooting in Detroit. It's felt like that. Facts. The past decade, it'd feel like Detroit would recruit a shooter and they'd come here and shoot sub 30%. But on a serious note, anytime you can add 40% 3-point shooters, no matter who's on the floor, that additional spacing, it's just going to open up the court for everyone, and it opens up cutting lanes, additional driving lanes. You can space out the pick and roll better with Cade at the top. Anytime you can create space, you've seen what the Warriors done. Spacing is king in today's league, and you bring in 40% shooters. It can't not help you on offense.
For sure.
Especially got guys like Cade and Ivey now too that can kind of get to the rim at will. Yes. And then another thing too is when you get those shooters. Man, I can't stop smiling. I apologize. But now that you have Duren, the Pistons have Duren to grab the boards they don't make. You know what I'm saying? You saw actually in the 4th quarter of last night's game. You know what I'm saying? I think we had 3 missed shots in a row. It was right before Duren got tagged out for Stewart. Now we were all pissed about it, but he was the one clean up on the boards and kept giving guys retries, and man, I'm so excited the Pistons got this going on. Chris, I know you had a question for Jack. Go ahead and ask it.
Yeah, to build off of what you said earlier about the team effort, to me the most interesting stat line and takeaway from the night was not the two young guys. It was Cade scoring 18 points and having 10 assists, and Cade showing that he doesn't have to be like Luka and have 35 points every game. He is totally comfortable facilitating the ball and being the secondary option to feed whoever it is, the shooters, the slashers, the rim runners, all of that. So that, I think, was a big sign of progress, and one that I think is important to monitor and a key factor of the Pistons' success.
100%.
No, absolutely. I agree with that because Cade, I mean, I don't think Cade's going to be a 25 plus point a game scorer. I think if you go back and watch him in high school and at every level, he is a facilitator first, and he's been described as a slow burn. He's someone who's going to, in the first half, sort of just get a feel for the game, get his teammates involved, and then he'll look for the time to attack. Like, he found his niche there in that third quarter, and, you know, he scored 8 points or so, and I think that's how Cade is going to be at his optimal, is getting his teammates involved, because that's ultimately how you win. That's how you win playoff series. That's how you win championships, is with teammates. So that heliocentric style, it's hard to keep that up for 82 games plus.
And I actually look at a stat line too, and I could be confusing my lines here, but it looks like between Cade and Ivey, only 5 turnovers, which is like a plus sign. And to the teammate standpoint, it was Cade and I having to drop 20. I do want to remind people it was the Magic to be, just it was a lottery team from last year, but
so are we.
It's fair.
It's a good measuring stick. A lot of young talent over there in Orlando as well.
Pistons are going 82-0, so if we use last year's formula, you know what I mean? Wins over stats.
Over anything else, yeah.
All day.
That's what they told Cade. You didn't win enough, so you can't get Rookie of the Year.
Jack, do you want to shout out your Twitter page or any of the content and articles you got going on yourself?
Yeah, for sure, man. So you can find me over on Twitter at JackCali313. I write for Detroit Bad Boys of SB Nation, so check out the page. And also started up a Pistons live stream with a company called Playback, so we'll be broadcasting a couple of games a week. It's called At the Home Court. All the info's in my bio. So yeah, if you're a Pistons fan and want to watch the game with fellow Pistons fans, hit it up.
That's dope.
100%, man. I appreciate you joining us, and I definitely want to do this again. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, man.
100%, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, you guys do awesome work, and I've loved seeing your growth. So yeah, keep it up.
Appreciate
Thanks, brother.
it, man.
Appreciate
Same
you.
to you.